The gentleman yields. My. So here we are, a hearing to reflect upon 3.5 years of incredible injury that's been brought upon our country because of southern border policies enacted by the Biden administration White House. We had this thing under control, man. 2017, 18, 19, we learned a lot of lessons, but I'm going to tell you, by the time we were deep into 2019, I was here, I was on this committee. Before COVID, don't talk about COVID in 2020, we'll set that year aside. In 2019, we had this thing under control, America. Sheriff, it's the policies of the Biden and Harris administration that have flipped this thing. With no additional laws. Let me say I'm going to address the cartels who are watching. Pay attention. I'm talking to you now. With no additional laws, within 2 weeks of the inauguration in 2025, on January 20th, 2025, if President Trump is inaugurated, within 2 weeks, you're shut down. You'll bring no drugs into our country. You'll traffic no human beings into our country. You're going to have to revisit your business model. Take some of those billions of dollars you've sucked out of our country, like the lifeblood of our people, and go build a few more mansions on the beach, because you will not be running human beings and drugs into our country within 2 weeks of President Trump's inauguration next year. If things don't go that way, we'll see. If a different president is inaugurated, it's very likely you'll be able to continue your business model. And won't that be tragic for my country? But you'll still have the issues of me and men like me, because I'll be living on your 1 yard line. But if things go right, you're done. This will be your last Christmas sucking the life out of our country, dumping illegals across our border that you control, and flooding our nation with the poisons that are killing our children to the rate of 100,000 a year. Chief Higgins, man, it's good to see you. You know, I made it a point in the years I've been on this committee to get to the border. I learned very quickly that I'd have my most productive codels on my own. And one afternoon a few years ago, I knocked on your gate, just a congressman with a backpack. And you were kind enough to let me in at the San Diego sector. And you spent several hours with me. It was one of the most informative days I'd ever had at the border, of many. So can you, sir, would you share with America, talk about the impact of the policies that were enacted beginning in January of 2021 on the men and women of Border Patrol that were under your command, in your own words. And I will yield sufficient time to you, sir. Just please talk about the impact of the policies that you felt, that your men and women felt, boots on the ground, on the border.
Ultimately, and as I mentioned earlier with the detention and then repatriating people back to their nations, caused a continual release of illegal aliens into our country. As more and more people were released, more and more people came. Basically turned the Border Patrol agents into transport and care and feeding. That's all the agents have had time to do. And they're well aware of what they miss. The zones that have been empty, the vast areas across the border that don't have a presence because they are sitting in detention processing, or they are taking care of feeding people in processing. That constant awareness of what they're not able to do. They're not able to complete their national security mission. That mission is why they signed on to the job. That mission is what they do, and they're not allowed to get out into the field and do that. And that is what is destroying the morale across the Border Patrol.
Chief, thank you for being here today. I thank all the panelists. Ms. Moran, God bless you, ma'am. We're sorry for your pain. We feel it with you. Sheriff, thank you for your service. Gentlemen, my time has expired, but my love for my country has not. I recognize the gentleman from California, our colleague, Mr. Garcia, for 5 minutes for questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank all of our witnesses for being here. Appreciate your time. Mr. Chairman, I'm wondering if I'm able to see your chart